Ford Escape SUV earned a poor rating in a crash test designed to show how well front seat passengers are protected in a violent collision. It was the only small SUV in a group of 7 tested to fail the test.
Well, another Ford Escape accelerating and crashing less than 2 months after the ABC 15 investigators broke stories about this potentially deadly problem. Last week, Ford issued a recall of nearly 500,000 2001 to 2000 Ford Escapes for potentially deadly problems with stuck accelerators.
The 5 SUVs that received poor ratings. They include the Ford Escape.
Getting poor marks, the Ford Escape, Kia Sportage, Buick Encore, and Jeep Patriot.
Small overlap crashes, unless a manufacturer designs for it, those structures get bypassed and all of the crash energy moves rearward, hitting the occupant compartment and often leading to massive amounts of intrusion.
Failures in restraint systems, and compromised occupant safety.
So as you can see, the 2013 Ford Escape has a history of not being a very safe vehicle in frontal crash tests. That's why it performed so badly in this horrific one. This is a frontal picture on the driver's side after the crash. Look at how much the A-pillar is bent towards the driver's door. In fact, the driver's door had to be removed because the driver could not be extracted from the vehicle. That's right, we use the word extracted. We shouldn't have to use that word in a car accident. That's how you know it's bad. Now, before you guys go all crazy on me and say, Honda Accord guy, Honda Accord, why did you destroy this perfectly good Ford Escape? Oh my gosh. Hold up. Hold the boat, guys. This car was so broken, I could have threw this thing off of a cliff and literally been like, well, just did myself a favor. Now, all joking aside, this car was kind of broken as I got it. The wheels were broken, you know. So you see the car getting drenched in a bathtub here. I wanted to see how resistant it was to water, and you can tell that it didn't do very well. So the Ford Escape is a somewhat okay vehicle. However, this model was just very poorly made, and I was very disappointed. You're probably going to hear me say that about 6,000 more times. Now look at this super cool clip I made of me wrecking my Ford Escape. Yeah, you can tell it has no front wheels because, they kind of broke off. So, yeah, that kind of happened. So, for those of you that are ever going to spend money on something like this, make sure that you buy something and be logical with how much money you spend on it, because I was not, and I totally got screwed over. So, that's Honda Accord guy. Hey guys, how's it going? Honda Accord guy here. Before I start, I would like to thank you guys so much for reaching 25,000 subscribers. That is a very big milestone for me, and I hope the next one is 50,000 subscribers, or maybe I'll even do it sooner at 30 or 40,000. So thank you guys so much for the continued support in my YouTube channel and really helping me do my dreams. Now, I did this video more as an entertainment purpose. However, I bought this 2015 Ford Escape Titanium off of eBay for around $100. Yeah, I kind of paid a little bit too much for it, and it came from China. The item arrived in somewhat good packaging, but the item was in pieces as I opened the box. The wheel would not stay on. The driver's wheel was completely busted off, but it was still in the package. I tried to repair the rear wheels, and it kind of worked. And the rear taillight would not stay on. And from what you saw in the pictures, really the best I could show you was the interior, because I'm sure you guys would have been very disappointed with the exterior. So here is one of the pictures that I have before the Escape got in its very bad accident. Now, the Escape may look perfectly fine in this photo. However, there is glue holding on the driver's side mirror because it is a folding mirror that came from China. You can see where this is going. Folding in the mirror and bloop, broke completely off. Great. Rear taillight is also being held on with glue. That's not cooperating. And the roof rack is also being held on with glue. In this picture, you can see the tailgate, the other problem, is not closed completely. This was another separate message I made to the seller. The tailgate would not close whatsoever as it came out of the package, which was very strange. And the driver's wheel and the passenger wheel were always tilted a little bit to the right, and I could never figure out how to fix it. Now, with all the complaints completely aside, unfortunately, there is nothing much to be completely happy about. You can see in this picture, I do apologize for the very, very laggy video. I had to slow it down so I could do this voiceover. However, the sunroof, the moonroof, as whatever you want to call it, would also pop into the interior of the car. So if you put the car down on the shelf, 9 times out of 10, the stupid moonroof would fall directly into the cabin. There was actually a piece of duct tape on the interior holding this car on. This car had not a single thing that was not being held on with glue, Gorilla Glue, duct tape, double-sided tape, you name it, this car was being held on by it. Now, I'm going to stop hurting the Escape here. It is a very nicely well-made model, and unfortunately, this is kind of a model that you just keep on a shelf. And I came to my senses and realized that if I was ever to spend the money to buy another model like this, it would definitely stay on my model car shelf. However, I did not listen to my very own judgment because this car was not the best one to do that with. This car was very fragile, and unfortunately, it even came broken. For those of you that are wondering, I asked for a 50% composition of the item, and he let me keep it. I got my half of my money back, which I guess I'm kind of okay with, and I got to keep the item, make a video about it, and potentially make even more money off of it. Now, this isn't really good. I wasn't intending on doing this, but I guess it's not awful because I got to make another video out of it, but yet I was not very happy because this car was broken. I spent a lot of money on it, and I really only got half my money back. But I did not really want to send the item back and potentially risk my feedback on eBay and risk the seller's feedback, which I know is a pain in the butt to fix. So I still left a 5-star review because I'm kind of a nice person. And he left me 5 stars back because as a seller on eBay, that can really damage your selling reviews or whatever. And somebody could look at that and say, oh, I'm not buying that. But for those of you that are wondering, this model is one that if you ever see something that looks a little bit too good to be true, it almost always is. This model was one that I looked at the pictures and instantly click buy it now. I didn't even make an offer. I just hit buy it now. The seller even sent me a message saying thank you for your purchase. I appreciate it, which I thought would go a long way. And it did, because in the end, I really needed that message to really pump me through to give him that 5-star feedback and not make me want to destroy his rating. Now, I really wasn't that angry with the item, and I was told by one of my friends that I was expecting this. I told him that I was going to buy this Ford Kuga for the obscene price that it was, and he said, don't ever buy that, it's going to break when you get here. And I laughed at him. Well, probably shouldn't have done that because he was true all along. The item arrived broken, and I was very disappointed in my purchase. I wasn't exactly angry, I was just disappointed in myself and disappointed in just how the item was made. I honestly expected a lot more. So I was overall very disappointed in this model. However, it had some really cool things like a sliding passenger seat. But once again, this is one of those models you would keep on a shelf and not see how many things you can put in the trunk until the passenger seat breaks. I found that out very shortly. Now, all joking aside, I totally would have bought this model again and just put it on the shelf and admired it from a distance. But I'm not going to start complaining about the car again. But I'm going to say the car is pretty cool overall, but I was very unhappy when it broke. So that's Honda Accord Guy 05. Thank you for 25,000 subscribers. It's a huge milestone. I really do appreciate it. Each and every one of you do matter, so make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because 90% of my subscribers are unsubscribed, if that makes sense. So 90% of the people that watch my videos are unsubscribed. So that is kind of crazy. You guys need to start hitting that little red subscribe button to make it gray. So drop a like on this video. Thanks for 25,000 subscribers, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Roof has pushed down, so the sunroof is broken like that. We're just gonna remove